2026. January is over. How are you right now? How do you feel? A lot of people, I think that almost all of us have set our goals, have set our biggest, greatest, and beautiful goals in this 2026. And truly, these goals are very beautiful and really can so inspire us. But ask yourself, did you stick to these goals in January? Do you stick to these goals now? These conversations are just conversations without you trying to be your greatest version in this year, to stick to your goals, and every day try to be 1% better. And no matter how do you feel, what you get through, you know deep in your heart that you will go and you will achieve this, and you go take the steps, take these actions towards your biggest, greatest goal. Because you know, deep in your heart, they are only your goals, only your responsibility, and you can make it. You can take these actions and go act towards your biggest goals, and you will do this. No matter if you stick to your goals or not yet, but in this video, I will show you how to do this and how you can become your greatest version in this 2026 and go towards your goals. So keep watching. Welcome to my channel, I'm Polina and I'm so excited to be here with you today. And first of all, I want you to think about who are you? Really, this sounds strange of course, but really ask yourself who you are. Because a lot of times we set our goals and we actually don't know how to start. And this can link to especially this question. I know this process can be very long, of course, and throughout our lives, even like people in 60 years old can still recognize fully who they are. But we should, first of all, analyze our inner world, analyze our thoughts, our habits, and what we should really do with our lives. Because yeah, that's great, you set your goals and you promised yourself that you will do this. But are they your goals? And not just somebody else's goals? Is this something that you really want to achieve? A lot of people try to impose something on us and tell us something about ourselves that we are not. And I don't know why they do this. Maybe it's for the good, maybe it's for the bad, but that's the fact. And you should recognize this. You should really think about what do you want from this life and from yourself especially. And how you can do this. I can give you these insights that helped me a lot in my times. So when I was a child, somebody else tried to put in my head their thoughts and what they think about and their goals. This was out of love, but I knew for myself that I wanna achieve my goals and my desires and what I want. And that's why I should really go deep in my inner soul, in my inner world, and ask what it wants. So what did I do and still do this? I read about this in a book and it basically said your subconscious mind knows some answers that your conscious mind don't. And in order to turn this on, you should lay on your bed, close your eyes and ask, this is not something spiritual, it's really how it works. And it worked for me. So I tell you, lay on your bed, close your eyes and think about yourself. Ask, who am I? What are my thoughts? What do I want from this life? And you will find this answer, I tell you. Maybe not in 1 minute, maybe not in 5 minutes, maybe in not one time, you should do this more. But this is exactly the way you're talking to your subconscious mind. And you actually have these answers inside of you. So I want you to try, just really try. Maybe not in one time, maybe not in the second, but you will start to find these answers more and more about yourself and about your goals and desires. Read this again and again. Work with it. Another thing is look around. Look at your environment. Where do you live? With who do you live? And are you satisfied with your environment? A lot of times people are actually not satisfied with this physical environment or just spiritual environments, people around you. If you are not satisfied fully, you have to change something. You have to find the way to escape from this environment. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when you're a child, when you feel like you're in a trap, but you should find the way already to escape from this. maybe in next year or next 2 years, but you have to find already a way. Because yes, sometimes people can be dependent from their environment, but it should not dictate how you feel, how you act, and what are you capable of. And yeah, sometimes, especially when you are a child, I was a child who, I know that my parents acted according to love for me, but for my goals and for my future, they wanted the best for me, but they also acted like there's the way, only the way how I should act, and nothing more, nothing else. But I just wanted always to make mistakes according to my choice. I've always wanted something else, not according to their plans. So I decided to listen to myself. I decided to go think about myself, my goals. I went to cafes, I studied there, I studied about myself, and I learned about myself there. And of course, I talked to my parents, I really love them, but sometimes I just have to be me, and I have to have my time just for my thoughts. And I did this. Not did I say that I grew up in a toxic environment, not, but sometimes there was some thoughts that I didn't wanna to be mine. And that's why I kinda abstracted from that environment, I kinda escaped from that environment, no matter for how much, just 2-3 hours I sat in the cafes. But you can always do this for just no matter, I tell you, but you can always find some space for yourself only. You can do this, and these 2-3 hours can really help you. Do not think that you cannot do something in this environment. You can always do something, you can always escape from this. I know some accidents when children grow up in really toxic environment, and it's just so harsh, I can't even imagine that. But you can find a job, you can go to cafes, you can go to libraries, work, and no matter where you go, you can do this. So don't think that you can't. Now when we figure this out, I want you to think about your goals in this 2026. You may think that, oh, I already done that, I made my plan to this year and I wanna achieve this. But think about also, are there really your goals? Is this really what I wanna achieve in this 2026? Because sometimes we set our goals, of course, they're big, they're huge, and it is so important. But when we don't achieve them, because sometimes it is really normal, because some goals requires more time and we cannot fully recognize how much time we need for these goals. But if you set this and you couldn't achieve this in some year, you just start to think about why, oh, this is not for me, and just give up. But no, some goals require more time, and that's okay, that's really okay. So think about this and set your goals specifically in some sphere that is inspire you, and in that sphere that you will be totally fully focused on in this 2026, because it is so much greater than just set goals in different spheres and think about how you will achieve all of this. Because sometimes we all set our goals in different spheres, and that's really good, that's great. But in just short time we set our goals and we require them to be achieved, everything in every sphere, like being healthy, going to the gym, working hard, working smarter, developing your spiritual life, and so much more things. And we're just so disappointed when we don't achieve, and like we all are just, oh, I am gonna do this, and eventually sometimes we don't do all of that because we are not focused. And in this year, make a promise to yourself that you will focus on one sphere, one big sphere, but you will focus on. Or you can also set out your goals on some specific months that you know that in this month you set your goal and you will stick to this, really stick to this. For example, for me, I want to focus in this year on studying smarter, on drinking more water, being healthier, my sphere that I really want to grow. I sorted my goals out on different months. For example, in the beginning of January, I had an exam and I have to study more, study harder, and study smarter because I really needed this. And because of that, I started to find some methods to watch something that will help me with this and take some advice from some people who actually did that I'm going to study. And I started to find something that will help me, and that's why I focused more on this. Then it was weekends, and of course on weekends I decided to do something that will actually help me to develop my skills in some sphere that is really important for me, and I decided to focus more on this. Then I will have another my studying period. I will focus on how to study smarter. That's really what I want, and that's really what I need, and that's why I will do this. Of course, my health, I wanna always focus on it and on my mind, and according to this, my state, I wanna think about how I actually can be more energized, what food, what nutrients can really help me, and I include this to my nutrition. That's really important, but I do not focus on this like 5 hours, 6 hours that I do with some different my spheres, and that's why I do this regularly. I try to do this every day, like drink more water, track my mood, my state. That's why I think about this too, because it doesn't require a lot of time. It is easier for me to track my mood, my state, and how I feel. That's how I sort my goals out on different periods and according to what I am focused right now. Because I think that this easier, because when you have different spheres and you have to stick to this, like you think that you have to do everything every day, you can, of course, you can start since January, you can start it and you can feel energized and inspired and motivated to do this, but then your motivation, of course, will just drop and you will start to lack your energy. And of course you can still continue this, but it will be hard, and it can be harmful for you. Of course, if you are disciplined, if you really wanna do this, you can work. But if your process require just so amount of time, like every day you will work and work, you will work without anything, without break, it can be harmful for you. And first of all, you can just think about what is the reason for me to do this, to do all of this, and just give up, or you can burn out. But go, of course, you can do this, but harm your body, your health, so I just don't advise you to do this. Of course, when you have this hunger, when you have this motivation, and you worked with this your previous year, and maybe you work in this throughout your life, but in one sphere that is really inspires you, of course, it will be so easier for you, and you can continue this, and congratulations. It's so great because you find your purpose, your mission, and you're inspired by this throughout your life. But when it is new goals, it is not the best way to stick to this, believe me. You can do this, of course, but eventually it will not be the best way. The great thing you can do is set your goals and sort them out, plan how to achieve them. For example, if you feel that this goal requires 3 months, then you can set a timer, and when it is the end, you can make conclusions and think about, did I achieve what I was supposed to achieve, and did I really stick to this? And no matter if you achieve this or not, if you stick to your plan, if you work towards your goal, it is still a win. It is still an achievement. You said you're gonna do this, and you did this. And no matter how hard, how painful the process was, you did this. No matter how many steps you have left, you did this. And it is an achievement. Because nobody knows how much time do they need to achieve something. We can't predict this. But if you stick to this, you are on the right way already. And congratulate yourself. And do this again. And the same thing with this year. If you set your goals and if you tell yourself that you will definitely achieve this in 2026, time passed and you didn't eventually achieve what you said you're gonna do, and this is not a lack of motivation. You should definitely not be disappointed that you didn't do something, that you didn't do some steps according to your plan, because your plan is just your plan, and this life is just this life, really. And this life can be so unpredictable, and it is, and you should not be disappointed by this. You should stick to this plan, and no matter what, you will go, move on and move on. If this is not this year, that will be the next year, but you will get there 100%. Also remember, you can set one goal for this year, but for example, big goal. Sometimes these goals require more time and require more steps. For example, you have set one big goal, and you do not know how to start, and when to start, what to do, remember that this goal consists of some specific steps that you should follow. I don't know what your goal is, but your goal, your big goal, consists of different steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know how many, but it is. And you can just sort them out on different months, as with small goals. Next, and then you will make conclusions during this year. And maybe there's another 12 steps left, but doesn't matter because you did what you said you're gonna do. Ask about this ChatGPT. This can really help to sort out your goal on specific steps. Tell AI about your goal specifically, and it can help you to sort out your goal on different steps, on specific steps. And maybe you can also ask how much time it requires, of course approximately, and how you can sort this out on different months. And it can really help you. And I did this, and I do this now. This is really helpful, and this is really helpful too, especially nowadays when it can really provide you with good information. So do this and start working towards these steps. The power of 1%. Think about what you can do during this day. How you can be close to your goal. And do this the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And now ask yourself how you can be more close if you do this every single day. Like every single day. I do not ask you to really do everything, as I said before, during one day. But if you can improve yourself in 1%, become better and better every single day. Imagine how you can transform during this year. In the end of this year, you can be transformed in 365%. Become better. Like not, okay, let's reduce it because we skipped January, for example. But if you worked on your goals and you set them, that's really great. But if you did not, that's okay. Because right now, you can start with this day. Think about how can you become better. I don't know about you, but that's so inspiring. Like, I'm so inspired by this concept, because every day I wake up and I think about my goals, first of all, and I really think about how I can become better, during this day, how I can become better. And yeah, of course, I think about my previous days and also compete with my previous version, but also I think about this day and I concentrate on this day. The next day, I think how I can even become better. And this concept, and this can really be so big and so great concept about this and about life. And if you read this really famous book, Atomic Habits, you know what I'm talking about, and that's not secret nowadays, but still, I think that's such an underrated information. We all can do this, and it is, again, not about set our goals and in every sphere and every day do this, but just 1%. Imagine do this in 1 hour or 2 hours, or no matter, like even half an hour, but still do this every single day. It's so powerful and can give you so many results than just stick to your goals every single day and work and then just burn out. Of course, it's really hard to stick to this every single day, but that's what gives you results, actual results. Constantly think about your mindset. That's so important thing. That's not something spiritual. That is a science. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what you imagine in your head. And every one of us know about this. But still, a lot of people forget about this and they just don't wanna believe in themselves, I think. But that is so important, and you have to always develop your mindset. Make a list of what is yours, what you wanna in this world, and what goals you actually wanna achieve. Always think about how you can make it. You have to develop this strong mindset that actually you can do this. You can achieve everything. You have to build that mindset in order to do and achieve something. For example, I even have a playlist of short videos, and in these videos there are things that I want to achieve, and it's actually said that you're powerful, you're strong, you really can do everything, and I really listen to this. I prefer to listen to this, remember this. That's why I have this strong mindset, and that's why I can really relate to this, and I believe that I can do this. So I think that everyone should try this and make a list of motivation, make a list of this that you want to achieve, and tell yourself that you can. Really, you can. Every day you can, you can. Every day you're powerful, you're strong. Tell these things to yourself. I tell you, you can achieve this, and you can actually develop this strong mindset for yourself. Because our thoughts determine our future, our present, and what we are capable of. That's not something that we can forget. That is our thoughts, and that is what actually determines us. Also, constantly think, and you can even write about this, what you achieved. Sometimes we just follow not our own way, and we forget about our actual goal, our actual mission. And in order to prevent this, write them down and read, because that really can happen, and that's really okay if you notice this. It's better, it's always better than just think that you are good and you follow your own way, but it's not. And yeah, sometimes it happens. And what we actually should do, think about our actual goal and turn back to this goal, to this path. That's okay. There's nothing to worry about if you recognize this and if you can do this. So make sure that you're not in that state where you cannot recognize your goal anymore. Make sure you do not forget to treat yourself properly. That's such an important thing. Sometimes we forget about this and underrate our own power and what we achieved already. And the best thing to show the gratitude for yourself and to thank you for this path that you have done is to treat yourself, is to congratulate yourself, is to buy something small, some small presents to yourself, to go to your favorite cafe, get your favorite drink or whatever. It's so inspiring for you, and that's so loving for you to feel this, to feel that you mean something for yourself and that you are grateful for what you've done. And yeah, just do what is your favorite thing to do, and do not feel guilty about this. Of course, if it's not a contradiction to your goals. For example, if you want to be healthier and you just go and pick your big bowl of ice cream, I don't know, of course you can treat yourself, but not in a way that you forget about your eventual goals and you not follow the path as I told you before. Of course, you should not be that way, that you should stick to your goal and nothing more, but I tell you that you can congratulate yourself in that way, that it is not a contradiction to your eventual goal. But yeah, feel love to yourself. Thank this process, thank this universe, thank God. Whatever you believe in, just thank and show that you are going. This links to being grateful. Thank this universe, thank God, thank whatever you believe in, but show gratitude. It is an important thing to throughout your way. If you are not showing gratitude, if you are not happy, then you do not see any purpose. You just go and without anything, and if you show gratitude, everyone talks about this and they talk not just about nothing. Because believe me, you can see difference when you are grateful, when you thank and when you ask for help. I don't tell about just ask and do nothing. Of course, you should do and you should build your own way. But if you ask for help, for showing the path, thank this universe, God, for what you have already. You can really be closer to your path, to your goals. And that's what it actually means, to show gratitude, thank for what you have. This way you show that you can do this, and you show that you're abundant. You show that you have these dreams, you already have these desires. It really shows that you will achieve this. And that's even how our mindset works. So show gratitude, be thankful, thank for what you have right now and for what you will have, because you will. Remember, the best version of yourself is not that version who never makes mistakes. It's that version who stand up and do this again, stand up and do this again and again and again, and eventually achieve everything. It's that strong version of you. You're already becoming this version. The fact that you watched this video already tells that you are on your way, on your way of your biggest transformation and stepping into your greatest possible version of yourself and achieving everything that you want. I'm so proud of you. You can achieve everything. I was so excited to make this video for you, to share my truth, to help you to step on your way and achieve everything. Because you can do this, and you know that. You're that power who will make it in life. Shine bright, my darling. The best version of you is not... Oh my god. That's a sign. Thank you.